Kakayaka means good morning to you on this beautiful Sunday. Well, today is January 30th, and we got, is it today the 30th? Yes, it is, because we have the new moon coming up on February the 1st. And it's really nice because this year it falls right on Chinese New Year. I'm not into Chinese, astrology and this and that. I'm really into one thing, which is the energy. I go with that and I use these tools that we have surround us, such as the air energy, the earth energy, and the moon energy. And why I have subjects 2 times a month on the new moon as well as the full moon. And people always ask why? Why is the moon so talked about? And it's because there's so much meaning to it. And the moon is something where it talks about the past. It has this motherly, nurturing energy that it's time that we heal within ourselves. People say, oh, the full moon, that's when the crazy comes in. Is because they don't seem to let go, or maybe that is their way of letting go. And the new moon is when we write our intention, because when we write our intention, we start off literally like anything else from the bottom up. And so with that, the new moon gives us this blank canvas that we have surrounding us. And in that canvas, there is so many different things that surrounds us. Even though it may not be physically there in front of us, but it surrounds us whether we go to our job, whether we go grocery shopping, whether we go to the gym, or whether we meditate. These things is really about finding the clarity and how to really kind of organize your mindset. As we say it in yogatation, is your cheetah mind, which is your monkey mind that decides to play that role of kind of making you overthink too much, making you not feel confident, making you procrastinate. And so this is why I really stress myself is practicing, and every day is a practice of practicing in how to really use earth energy. Like I just mentioned a couple of them, and we are having a webinar about this. So Cocojor.com is a place where you can click on and find a whole bunch of webinars to sign up, because literally my video content has grown tremendously. Why? Because I literally switched my energy. And this is the theme for what's happening on this new moon, because this is really the turning point, the pivotal point of where we stand. And when I say that is because we finally felt in our heart to really stand up for justice. And for the last 2 years, we've been pretty much cooped up, And can you imagine, that's how our dogs sometimes feel, being cooped up in a cage, or the chickens, or the, animals needs their natural surroundings, just like us, right? And so when we had that cooped up feeling bottled up within ourselves for the last 2 years, that's when our sensibility of how we're gonna go forward really plays this pivotal point, like I just mentioned. And when I say pivotal point is because we're at that turning point, right? We can still stay there, and there's a lot of talks about these mandates, which is still going to continue, like I say, in the next 3 to 6 months. And I'm not putting my energy and my focus there because the people power of injustice is rising. And as long as we can believe what our choices are, what our free will is about, we put that energy into our everyday life. Because we know somewhere, some way, whether you believe in this way or that way, there is some kind of injustice being done in many different directions. But you can create your own justice by really setting your tone straight and standing up for your rights. And so that's what the focus on this new moon is all about. Because you are literally handed down a blank canvas. And it's important that, we want to get started really quick with our new adventure of building a new business or building a new marriage or getting married or getting, divorced. Really focus on the importance and value of the money. Just because you want a whole bunch of money, or you got a whole bunch of money, or you're going to invest in a whole bunch of money, because right now, like I say, finance is really on the rise because there is this Bitcoin boom, but now it's the NFT where people are literally selling themselves, their selfie, online, and they're making tons of money for it. And so that's what I'm saying, is that the system is radically changing because, it is, everybody wants to create a new world already, because no matter which way you look at it, whether it's education system, whether it's the banking system, technology system, the medical system, like I said before in my past videos, these systems are going through a radical, huge changing. And also with the speed, we can't even see all the speed of light, the vibration of cell phones, the way of Wi-Fi connection in the 5G, whether it's in the sky or in the ocean. It's these changes that's going to really affect different kind of vibration, different kind of energy within Mother Nature's way of doing, right? It's not a natural organic energy. It's like a super train, like a Shinkansen, going right through in different direction. And so there is going to be a lot of different kind of interruption. Like the other day on Zoom, if there was an interruption, there's going to be connection of different ways. And especially now, because we are in a Mercury Retrograde into the 3rd of February. And so, this is a time where really there's going to be like a snowball effect as well as a peaceful effect. It's really in how you want to adjust to the outer world. And, one thing is being free. And this feeling of being free and really finding that last 2 years, we were pretty much, like I mentioned, cooped up. And finding that free creative spirit is something that really plays a high card on what's going to start to happen, because there's going to be a huge, like I mentioned, power changes and movement that's going to happen. And so your comfort pattern is really going to take the seat on how we're going to nurture ourselves, how we're going to go, because You know, sometimes when we get stressed, we end up eating, or we go into our overdrive into our spiritual side or our religious side, you know, or we go and watch too much binging of Netflix or social media, stuff like that. And so all of this stuff, it's gonna kind of, you know, that's why it's really interesting for this new moon, because you're gonna have like a different wave of attack coming from many different directions. And that's how we have to prepare ourselves. So everything that we see on the internet, like, oh my God, that's on sale. What I do is, ooh, I want it, but do I really want another shoes? And I'm like, yeah, I start to go back walking, but honestly, do you really want another shoes? When you have so much shoes over here, so much shoes in LA. And so what I do is I put it in my cart and I step back. And I really think about it, and then if I really want it, I'll go back and get it. And if I really don't want it, I forget about it. And that's why sometimes in my Amazon thing, I have a whole bunch of stuff sitting there, but it makes you really think back and say, do I really need it? And that's the same thing goes for whatever we do. If you have a hesitant choice of what you are feeling, put it in that cart for a while. And if you want to check out, do it. Let it go during the full moon. You know, whether you're going to buy something or whether you're going to check it out, time to look into that ad cart, you know, your shopping cart. And it's the same thing and the same philosophy we do in our life. Is if we're not ready to put in all these great intentions, put it in a cart, you know? Like, for me, I started this on September 21st. I'm literally on my last page. And some of it, I put it in a cart, and some of it, I write it down. But I write it down so I can look back. Like, I'm gonna, like, that's like my cart right over here. Like your book, your notepad, your journaling is like your shopping cart. Your shopping cart is filled with ideas, filled with motion, filled with a lot of these things. And so these are like literally your lead magnet and how to write all of these intentions that you are feeling. How you're going to go and say goodbye, to let it go. And so all of these things are little simple tools that we can use. And that's why I love doing these series, is because it reminds us that it's time to write on a blank canvas or on our chalkboard. This is our shopping cart of what we go through. And, you know, all of these small things that we do is going to really start to make sense. And so really when you do this, stick to the truth, because the truth will set you free. It's funny because that's when your consciousness of what you feel, the energy and its writing and your thought frame, this is such an important tool to use, and I love it. And you know, and so really be really practical and don't be too hard on yourself. And that's why when we write our intention for the new moon, really focus on yourself, you know, get this creativity of gratitude, thankfulness. You know, I always say do it in threes, because if you do it more than three, it gets too much. Like you have too much things, of too much multiple choices. And that's when we get too confused and not to execute it. and I have another class and webinar on that, on this course, is all that little details that means so much. And we have a whole bunch of things in our Cocojor Clubhouse, which is full access of our e-library, dibs on our courses and things like that. And when is Meditation Monday, which is going to actually start tomorrow, the 31st. And Meditation Monday is all about really silencing the mind, the body, and the spirit. And that's when I do with 432 hertz of sound meditation, where we can finally find a piece of clarity, a peaceful communication within ourselves. And so that's starting on Mondays. And if you miss it, or if you're not part of the clubhouse, you can find it in our meditation room in our e-library, where you can do yogatation, as well as my gardening tip, my cooking tip, and most of all, our four-legged friends tip, our dog, our BFF. And so there's a lot of things in our Cocojor channel. And, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube, where you can see, like this, information that I love to share, because it's really important that, we take the time, because now this is a new now where we can really step in front of the camera and give ourselves that opportunity to share our experience, to share live on what we feel and what we can share as part of being together with a great collective energy. And so you stay tuned. Pretty much what's happening in a new moon is really, like I said, a huge shift, which is the turning point, the pivotal point in our life. Is how you guys choose to do it and follow that journey. Is that journey going to be simple? It could be, if you do your planning and you're shifting to the right direction on how everything is moving. Because that's how astrology is, whether it's Chinese astrology, whether it's angel astrology, whether there's just so many different kind of ways of doing it. But my way of doing it is really working with whatever's around us, the surrounding, the energy, the vibration, and the frequency. Because that's what we, feel every single day around us. So it's how we work on it, how we protect ourselves from it, as how we can use it to manifest wealth, health, anything that you desire, because you are the creator. I'm just here to guide you with the tools, with the knowledge that I was able to open up and learn. So don't forget to come and join us as part of our Cocojor member. So you stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube, and I'll have more information in the summary about the new moon. But basically, we just need to focus really on how we're going to do and use our strength for this pivotal point of changes. So you stay tuned. Coming up next is more tips, more chit chat with us, and have a wonderful, beautiful February. Aloha.